I'm curious if you can hear me because I have a voice, just like many of my sisters in this room. Unlike what Coven House would like you believe, that we can't speak and make decisions for ourselves. It's completely appalling to think that we are subhuman beings with no voice and can't take care of ourselves and make choices for ourselves. We choose to work in this industry because of the voice that it gives to us. And that's all I have to say.
I've been dancing for 8 years. I started in college. I have a degree in math. I would pass a drug test. I've never been a hooker. I became a dancer because I wanted to travel the world, and since I've visited about 30 countries, mostly due to the income and freedom of stripping. I have a couple of comments. One is I have a degree in math, and I read through the Covenant House study, and as anybody with any sort of background in math and sciences should realize this is not at all an objective study.
She seems to think that we aren't independent, intelligent women who want to work at these places because we want to work there. She thinks that we're being forced to work there by, I don't know, our pimps, I guess? It's not true. We're all here because we are intelligent and independent, and we want to keep the jobs that we have.
I'm Jim Kelly from Covenant House. We care for runaway, homeless, and at-risk youth. Today we are caring for 154 young people, youth, and children. We don't care if you are black, brown, yellow, green, or purple. We don't care if you're gay, straight, or transgender. We don't care if you're from Trebeil or Timbuktu. We are glad to take you in. The young people we care for are really good kids with real stories. Many have lived tragic lives filled with abuse, violence, and trauma. Every one of them is good, is special, and is brave. Today I'm here about young and vulnerable dancers, those with serious mental health issues, those with serious drug addictions, and dancers under the age of 21. As the staff's report says, the city has plenty of rules, regulations, and laws on the books. There is no need for any new ones. The problem simply is enforcement. Not all clubs are non-compliant. The clubs who are not following the rules, regulations, and laws need to. If every club follows the rules, the laws, there will be no closures and there will be no loss of jobs. I recently sat down with 3 of our residents, all former dancers. I thought you might like to know of their hopes and dreams for the future. One would like to be a school principal, one would like to be a counselor, and one would like to run a group home. Thank you so much.
Now I read in this report on the first page that there have been decades of attempts to deal with the associated negative impacts of my business. Whoa! If I had been told that in 1996 when I invested $5 million in this city, would I have come here? No. In 2009, when I invested $2.5 million in 522 Bourbon Street, a place where there are 18 crack apartments, would I have invested the money in this city? Probably not. At the end, I read that there are many concerns about crime and morality. Nonsense. The studies that were included are all irrelevant. There's only one study, actually, that deals with live entertainment performance venues and crime, and it says there's less crime around those venues. That was the Charlotte study. Now, the other study indicated that, in fact, there is more crime because there are more victims. There are more victims because we have more customers. Does that mean that the TMC should be held accountable for bringing people to New Orleans? Now, before I run out of time, I want to tell you a little bit about Covenant House. Covenant House was founded by a monster, Bruce Ritter, abused children for decades. 2 of the 3 people from Covenant House came out of New Orleans. Who was his golden boy? Jim Kelly. I hope the reporters dig into this story. There's a lot more.
That's your time. Thank you. But there does appear to be a creation of victimhood around the employees, around the women, particularly in this industry, that tries to take away or that may take away their voice. And so I'm encouraged that those women showed up here today to speak out and to say that we're not victims, because oftentimes we create victimhood so that we can go in and solve a problem. We've got and what I heard a lot of today is that this is actually empowering. This is how I feed my family, and that the environment is an environment that they feel safe in. And so I hope those comments are things that we take to heart as we move forward with this process.